Hello everyone, welcome to the IchimokuCharts.com daily analysis for the FX markets for Thursday, April the 14th, 2011. Well, a continuation of the trend to the upside today, and the candle that we're highlighting is the current candle. The final candle needs to be disregarded. That's just started trading, and we have a candle that's made a higher high and a higher low. Candle with a longish shadow on the bottom suggests that the sellers lost control as the market was testing down around the area fairly close to the Tenkan-sen. A green body candle suggesting that the buyers have made net bullish progress on the day, and the market's closed up towards the high, suggesting that the buyers have closed this market in control and they've shown some commitment to taking this market higher. If the trend does continue to the upside, then we have potentially solid resistance at 1058.16, which was this tweezers top pattern, the highs of the tweezers top pattern that we saw previously. To the downside, if the market does come off, then we have potential support at the Tenkan-sen, which is trading at 1043.46, and then at this swing low at 1038.93. Down below there we have the Kijun-sen trading at 1014.31. Now, in Ichimoku charts terms, we are trading above the cloud and a fair way above the cloud, so a positive market in big picture terms. The market's also bullish in the medium term and fast term timeframes by trading above the Kijun-sen and the Tenkan-sen. The Kijun-sen has turned flat, and price action was attracted back towards the Kijun-sen, and that's generally what happens when it turns flat. Market is rallying, but while that does stay flat, there is a possibility that the market will retrace, so we do need to watch the low of the current candle. Certainly watch the high of the current candle for a potential test up around the 1058.16 level. Now on to the hourly chart, and we can see that the market is now trending up in that final hour of trading, bullish candle. Previously we had a retracement back towards the Tenkan-sen. The market found support roughly in that area, and a bullish candle, large green body. However, the candle has found resistance around this 1055 level, and we can see here previously where the market sold off, and once again loss of commitment from the buyers. The next hour of trading will be interesting to see if we can take out that region. We can see here from these candles the influence of that area, and that area actually extends up to almost 1056. Now in Ichimoku charts terms, we are trading above the clouds over an overall positive bias and trading above the Kijun-sen and Tenkan-sen, which means the market is bullish in the medium term and fast term timeframes. The market is in a second time frame uptrend now. We have a series of higher peaks and higher troughs, but this 1055 region is quite important for this market. Potential support at the Tenkan-sen at 1053.31, and down to the cloud at 1049.45. Now onto the Euro US dollar FX, and here we have a market that's changed trend today. Previous day's trading, we had a spinning top type candle with a that was making a higher high and a higher low. Today's candle, another spinning top type candle that's made a lower high and a lower low. So technically we have had a change of trend, although these three candles are spinning top type candles, and this smallish bodied candle all are signs of indecision in this market. We had a previously strong bullish candle that tested up to around the 144 or 145 region. The previous three candles the market's test above there, and the sellers have come in, so the buyers are losing commitment as the market trades up around that area. So that's critical for any continued price appreciation in this market. In Ichimoku charts terms, we're trading up above the cloud and FOA above, so we have an overall positive bias. The market's trading above the Kijun-sen and Tenkan-sen, so the market's bullish in the medium term and fast term timeframes, and the Chikou span is confirming the bullish price action that we're seeing. If the market does come off, then there is potential support initially at the Tenkan-sen, which is trading at 143.51 at the moment, and then down to the Kijun-sen, which is trading at 141.35. A market that's basically going sideways, and we see in the Kijun-sen how that's pointing sideways, reflecting the lack of upside momentum in this market. Often when that points sideways, we tend to get retracements, and I think the fact that we haven't substantially retraced this second time frame uptrend tells us something about how strong the bulls are in this market at the moment. So quite a bullish market. The market is relaxing. Look for a breakout up above the 145 region and a close up above there. to the hourly charts for the Euro US dollar, and we can see a market that's bullish at the moment. We're trending up above the cloud, but over the last few days we've seen a market that's oscillating above and below the cloud, so a market that really doesn't have a lot of direction in big picture terms. Bullish indication, but indication at the moment, but we have very strong resistance overhead, extending up to 145.19.5. We can see here each time the market's tested up above those levels that the market has sold off. We've tested below the cloud with some very solid bearish candles, but the market's failed to go on with it too. So solid support extending down to about 143.80, and just below there to 143.70. Now, the market is bullish in big picture terms. At the moment, we've had the bullish breakout up above the cloud, so technically we're bullish. We also have a bullish market in the medium term and fast term time frame by trading above the Kijun-sen and Tenkan-sen. The Tenkan-sen is actually pointing up quite sharply, reflecting some solid upside momentum in this market at the moment. So that's the first level of support we'll look at, 144.794, and then certainly we've got support at the top of the cloud around 144.63. Below the cloud, solid support should be expected around the Kijun-sen at 144.39. Now, we did have a crossover of the Tenkan-sen above the Kijun-sen, which is a bullish signal in Ichimoku chart terms, but that occurred below the cloud, so it's only a weak signal. And we do need to bear in mind this solid resistance that we have overhead here. So whether we take that signal or not, we shouldn't just take these signals blindly. We should look at the situation that the charts are in, and we'd have to be very careful about taking signals where there's such solid resistance up above. If the market does break out up above there and we have a solid bullish close up above there, we could see decent price appreciation, but we do need to react to something to that situation if it does happen. Moving on to the US dollar Japanese yen, we have a market that's trending down, and the current candle that's completed, not the last candle on the chart, the previous one, is a red body candle that's made a lower high and a lower low, so continuing the first time frame downtrend that the market was in. Now this candle has a larger shadow on the bottom, and that shows us that the sellers have lost commitment as the market traded down to around the 83 region, so good solid support should be expected at 83 again. Now the market is trading up above the cloud, so we have an overall positive bias in the market, trading up above the Kijun-sen, so the market's bullish in the medium term time frame, but trading down below the Tenkan-sen, so bearish in that fast term time frame. The Kijun-sen has turned flat, and the price action has been attracted back towards there. Now, if we fail to find support at the 83 region, then we could find support at the cloud, which is roughly trading about 82.40, but it's a very thin amount of cloud, so there is a strong possibility that the market could break out to the downside below that area and test down towards the Kijun-sen at 80.95. Onto the dollar yen hourly chart, and we can see in the final completed hourly candle here that the market was trending up. First time frame uptrend, the market was making a higher high and a higher low. A green body candle, which means that the buyers have made some net bullish progress on the hour between the open and the close, but we have a large shadow on the top of this candle, and that represents the sellers losing commitment. Now the sellers lost commitment as they traded up towards the bottom of the cloud, and we could probably fairly say that the cloud, or the resistance offered by the cloud, has exerted its influence just before the market has traded up towards there. So the cloud will obviously be very significant to this market in the next few hours of trading. With the current candle also, we've had the market close in the middle of the range, which means that neither side has taken control of this market in that final hour of trading. So there is potential for a change of trend to the downside. Now, by trading down below the cloud, this market maintains its overall negative bias in big picture terms, but the market is trading up above the Kijun-sen and Tenkan-sen, which means the market's bullish in the medium term and fast term time frames. So we've got a counter trend rally going on here. If just looking at the last candle here, there is potential for a bullish crossover of the Tenkan Sen above the Kijun Sen. Now, this current candle, this last candle, is not completed yet, and that crossover hasn't completed. But if the market stays the way that it is, then that will be a crossover. So it does suggest potential for this market to continue rallying. That would be a very weak signal, however, because that's occurred below the cloud. So we do need to bear that in mind. So obviously, if the market does continue rallying, resistance from the cloud up around 83, 85, support offered at the Tenkan Sen at 83.50 and down to the Kijun Sen at 83.86, but solid support all the way through down to this swing low at roughly 83.30 and the major swing low down here around 82.96.